I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7.
Islam, Islam, Islamism without the schism. Islam want to rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God, Allah, our Father God, Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere. And therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. But let us come forth with our ancient committee and adept Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we call forth our beloved scribe, Sister Dendra Ania Curta Bay, as she opens up the way. Islam. You there, goddess and queen?
Islam, I'm here.
Islam.
Islam, family. I am Dr. Dendra Nia Curta Bay, but first let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act 1. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to my national assistant grand sheik for this wonderful class this morning. And now, let us come forth with our ancient committee and adept Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we ask that you open up your hearts and your minds as we open up the way. Islam, Islam, Islam. Ya Allah Abnu Haru Makunetaru. Ya Allah Efhet Haru. Ya Allah Ma'at Haru. Ya Allah Hotep Haru. Ya Allah Haru. Ya Allah Ma'at Herahuti. Ya Allah Awajit Jehuti. Ya Allah per im Saket per im Haru. Ya Allah per Maduti. Hedget Sipses Ray out to Ali. Amen. Alisa, Alisa, Alisa. And that is to say in transliteration, O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet, O Allah, Drew Ali. Amen. Holy Issa, Holy Issa, Holy Issa. Now let us come forth before you with our divine constitution of Moorish America, salvation, our God, and unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, color folk, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Jew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabit the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Now that this meeting has been opened according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we now will bring forth our National Grand Secretary of State to read our chapter of the week. Islam, are you there, Goddess?
Closest of thought, gratitude.
Gratitude.
Islam, Moorish kin, first of all, would arise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, noble Jew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class, our E.A.R.S class, giving honor to our family online, giving honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheik of Moorish America, Dr. Shedu Amenti El Mohedi Chepsuel, also to our scribes online. Chapter 16, Yehoshua teaches the common people at a spring, tells them how to obtain eternal happiness. In silent meditation, Yehoshua sat beside a flowing spring. It was a holy day, and many people of the servant caste were near the place. And Yehoshua saw the hard drawn lines of toil on every brow and every hand. There was no look of joy in any face. Not one of all the group could think of anything but toil. And Yehoshua spoke to one and said, "Why are you all so sad? Have you no happiness in life?" The man replied, "We scarcely know the meaning of that word. We toil to live and hope for nothing else but toil, and bless the day when we can cease our toil and lay down and rest in Buddha's city of the dead." And Yehoshua's heart was stirred with pity and with love for these poor toilers, and he said, "Toil should not make a person sad. Men should be happiest when they toil. When hope and love are back of toil, then all of life is filled with joy and peace, and this is heaven. Do you not know that such a heaven is for you?" The man replied, "Of heaven we have heard, but when it is so far away, and we must live so many lives before we reach that place." And Yehoshua said, "My brother man, your thoughts are wrong. Your heaven is not far away, and it is not a place of metes and bounds. It is not a country to be reached. It is a state of mind. Allah never made a heaven for man. He never made a hell. We are creators and make our own. Now cease to seek for heaven in the sky. Just open up the windows of your hearts, and like a flood of light, a heaven will come and bring a boundless joy. Then the toil will be no cruel task." The people were amazed and gathered close to hear this strange young master speak, imploring him to tell them more about the Father God Allah, about the heaven that men can make on earth, about the boundless joy. And Yehoshua spake a parable. He said, "A certain man possessed a field. The soil was hard and poor. By constant toil, he scarcely could provide food to keep his family from want. One day, a miner who could see beneath the soil, in passing on his way, saw this poor man in his unfruitful field. He called the weary toiler and said, 'My brother, know you not that just below the surface of your barren field, rich treasures lie concealed? You plow and sow and reap in a scanty way, and day by day you tread upon a mine of gold and precious stones. This wealth lies not upon the surface of the ground, but if you will dig away the rocky soil and delve down deep into the earth, you need no longer till the soil for naught.' The man believed. 'The miner surely knows, and I will find the treasures hidden in my field.' And then he dug away the rocky soil, and deep down in the earth he found a mine of gold. And Yehoshua said, 'The sons of men are toiling hard on desert plains and burning sands and rocky soils, are doing what their fathers did, not dreaming that they can do aught else. Behold, a master comes and tells them of a hidden wealth, that underneath the rocky soil of carnal things are treasures that no man can count, that in the heart the richest gems abound, that he who wills may open the door and find them all.' And then the people said, 'Make known to us the way, that we may find the wealth that lies within the heart.' And Yehoshua opened up the way. The toilers saw another side of life, and toil became a joy." Islam, Islam, Islam. Also, much gratitude to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Dendra Nia Kurtabay, for opening our meeting according to law. Now, at this time, we want to turn the meeting back into the hands of our National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shedo Amenti Al-Mohajjed Shepsuel. Islam?
Islamism. Can you hear me, Grand National Secretary of the State?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. Islam, Islam, Islam. Islam, Moorish America. Want to rise upon the seven within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and Bylaws. And honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything, and I do mean everything, that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome you to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate session. And I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Amohadi Shabazel. My ancient committee and high name being the same as Dr. Shedawamenti El Muhajid Shepsuel. And we have a grand drawing to bring into the manifest Moorish kin and family out there. So it's a grand measure to be brought forth from the treasures. And we just say, praise be to Allah for being in this new era and time to where we can bring our people closer to love divine. So Allah is definitely leading on and victory is sure. And we encourage our family that are here. If you are looking for the first time, to please hit the like, share, and subscribe. And basically let our people know that we are here so that we can get into the algorithm with these truths. We have a grand measure to bring on the manifest this morning as it relates to our scribes and their assignment. This is one that you don't want to miss, or you don't want to miss any of them. But this is going to be a grand draw in here, you know, because now we are actually active in dealing with the language, you know, after these times of coming into the knowledge of the alphabet, so forth and so on. We have a lot of that history already archived. For those of you who have not seen it, if you will, it's nothing wrong with going back to revisit those things because we got a lot of ground to cover moving ahead. And we want to make sure that we keep it moving, so to speak. And like I say, we have some grand drawings to bring on the manifest. And we encourage our family to really tune in, you know, and that our people can really learn these things from our perspectives. Because it can't nobody teach us like us. If we don't teach us, then who will? So without further ado or delay, I'm just over here dropping this link in a few places to try to boost the algorithm a little bit. And I think that's about grand right there. And I'll stop right there because we don't want them to look at it like we trying to spam nothing. And we're going to get to it with our scribes. Call them forth. And peace to the audience as well. Noble Brian Born Dog. Honest to all of y'all. Y'all be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share this demonstration as much as possible on your page so that people can see it. All right. So without further ado or delay, we're going to call forth our scribes, you know, so that they may present their assignment. Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Sister Curta Bay.
Islam, family. Dr. Dendra Nia Curta Bay, I'm just going to jump on out there and get on in this assignment because this was an assignment. Very challenging. I loved it though, doing the research and going further into Islam and studying about our heritage and you know, just studying that part of our religion, because coming out of Christianity, you know, when we heard anything about Islam, we was binding you up in the name of Jesus. We didn't want to hear anything you had to say or nothing like that. So doing this, this is very powerful for me. And let me see, let's see if I remember how to do this. Okay, I'm gonna try to no. Islam, am I still there?
Okay, we just put you on the screen, Sister Islam.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Make sure you expand it too, Sister Denver, when you get everything set up. Uh-oh. We gotta wait for our sister to come back in there. Give us a minute. Islam. Praise be to Allah. I know our family was able to go, into the background of this particular surah and do some research. It's a powerful measure. Most definitely, it is a powerful measure. Just the history behind it. There she go, right there. All right, Sister Dendra. We got you. You can share your screen again.
Islam. I don't know what happened. It acting crazy. Anyway, let me try this again. I don't know why it knocked me off. Okay, let me go here. The entire screen. And click in here. Hold on a minute, family. Let me figure out how to present this thing again. Okay. Go over here, entire screen. Then share. You are in the show. Okay. Dr. Shaheed, can you see me? Am I in there?
Yeah, I got you in there. You just got to share your screen.
Okay, great. Let me, I know I had to make it big. Okay. All right, and let me blow it up a little bit more for y'all. Islam, let me go down here. All right.
Yeah. I don't see anything right now but a black screen too, sister.
Oh, really? It's saying, let me see. I'll say StreamYard is sharing a window.
It's sharing, but it ain't I don't see anything on it yet.
Oh, okay. Let me try it again. Let's see. Share. Okay, share screen. Select a tab to share. Entire screen. I think they didn't updated this thing, and
yeah, you were sharing the first time.
Oh, was it?
The first time before you got kicked off, you just click kicked off. So whatever you did the first time, you just do again. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm adding you. There you go. Now it's showing your screen.
Okay.
You just got to put whatever your assignment up there. But I can see the background of your computer.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see your thing. You just got to expand it, open it up wider.
Okay. What about now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Gratitude. Whew, I don't know what's going on with this thing. But anyhow, this was our assignment, family. Like I said, very challenging, but I'm growing. I'm learning. I had fun learning, doing this assignment, working with our tools and everything. But number one, the first thing we was to do, use our Grand Quran commentary to give our understanding of the ayahs 1 through 5, and ayahs 1 through 5. Let me see. It reads, proclaim or read, in the name of thy Lord and cherisher, who created created man out of the leech-like clot. Proclaim, and thy Lord is most bountiful. He who taught the use of the pen taught man that which he knew not. And we was to give our understanding. And what I got out of that, reading those first 5 ayats, we see the prophet, the angel Jibril coming to the prophet and telling him to read, and he explains how he don't know how to read. And the prophet had been gone in these caves for years, and the angel showed up to give him these writings and for him to pen down. And as I read through it, it's talking about the birth, how we are conceived and in the womb. And it also took me back to our Holy Quran and made me think about our first chapter in our Holy Quran, chapter 1, because it gives the lineage, the creation of the fall and creation of man, the creation and fall of man. And as I was reading this too, I've also thought about, I was wondering, I say, okay, why did the prophet, he brought this teaching, I think it was like back in 620, he brought these writings on the scene. And I was thinking to myself, as I meditated on these ayats and things, I was thinking, I was like, well, why would he, teach us about how we were conceived? And I thought about what I come up with, I thought about in our chapter 20 when it talks about the council of the council of the seven of the world, and it talks about how in every age since time began, but 7 sages live. And it said, at first of every age, these sages met to note the course of nation, people, tribes, and tongues, to note how far toward justice and love the race had gone, to formulate the code of law, religious postulate, and plans of rule best suited to the coming ages. And so I thought, when I thought about that, I say, the sages or the creative faith, they come together and gave this revelation to Prophet Muhammad, because Allah knows everything. And I just feel like he knew that someone was going to try to come along and like what his name was, Charles Darwin, that came up with that theory, the Charles Darwin theory, that we evolved from apes, and we evolved from a monkey and kept growing and growing and growing. Y'all know how we was taught that in school. Back at he come out with that in 1859. Where the way I look at these ayahs here is like Allah is putting he's putting the truth out before somebody come along, because he knew what they was going to come along and do. And so we got documentation telling us how we were created, because he talks about how the sperm and the egg, how they come together in the mother's womb, and how we are formed and go through them 7 stages, or 9 stages rather, for us to give birth. And he puts all that on paper. And for me, that's just confirmation, because even at this day and time, in this new era and time, our holy prophet, and we know our holy prophet say he came back 5 times stronger. So the spirit of our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali was upon Prophet Muhammad during that time. And so when the prophet came on the scene in the age of Aquarius, which a lot of people used to, but it's Cunham, the age of Cunham. When he come on the scene, he knew we had advanced further enough for him to take us back even further, not from the physical manifest. He took us back to the spiritual manifest. And so we can trace ourselves all the way back to the seed of the great God Allah. And so that was so powerful for me. I just enjoyed just kind of meditating on that and listening, just meditating and getting my thoughts together on what these ayahs meant to me. So we got documentation beat conversation. So when somebody come along and try to tell you evolved from apes and things like that, no, you go back and show them this. We got documentation right here. This tells us how we got here. And like I said, in our Holy Quran, in chapter 1, the first chapter, you see where you come from, the seed of the great God Allah, spirit. The prophet brought you all the way down and showed you that whole demonstration. Islam. So that was that's what I got. That's what I got out of those first 5 ayahs. We were to give our understanding. So that's my understanding, family. Islam. And so the next part of our assignment, we was to use the Strong Concordance and Arabic dictionary to give an exegesis of the root word kara. Okay, and we had to look up that word kara. And what I did was in talking about the word kara, we know that was the root word of ikra. And so what I did is I went and I looked up ikra because we are focusing on the root kara. Kara is the root of ikra. And so when I looked up the word ikra, it talks about the name ikra originating from India. Urdu holds significant historical and modern day usage. It says its root can be traced back to the ancient times when the Urdu language emerged as a refined form of Hindi with influences from Persia, Arabic, and Turkish. Derived from Arabic, the name Iqra carries rich connotation of confessing and reciting. It says in history, the name Iqra found its promise with the advent of Islam, revered as the first word of the Quran. I thought that was interesting. It holds immense spiritual significance for Muslims worldwide. The act of reciting the Quran, which is considered the word of God, stands as a fundamental practice in Islamic tradition. As a result, Iqra became a name widely chosen by Muslims families as a testament to their faith and devotion. And it says in modern day usage, the name Iqra continues to be prevalent among Urdu-speaking communities and Muslims globally. Its popularity can be attributed to its profound religious and cultural significance. Muslim parents select this name for their children, emphasizing the importance of seeking knowledge and reciting the Quran. Furthermore, it has become an underlying factor for individuals who belong to the same spiritual linguistic background, fostering a sense of identity and belonging. The name Iqra holds a timeless relevance, reflecting a deep-rooted connection to faith, knowledge, and the Islamic heritage. And also, looking up that root word Korah, when I looked up the root word Korah, that's the root of Iqra, it says in Arabic, Korah, I'm going to curse it, Korah, it was written like this, and it means to read, as we can see. It means to read. It is said, it is the past tense of the verb Korah. Here you see it spelled with 2 A's, which also means to read. And also some key points about that word Korah. the meaning of it, primarily signifies the act of reading. And it talks about the origin. It says this word is commonly found in the Quran. I said that. And where it is used to refer to the act of reciting the holy text. And then it talked about the related terms. Quran itself is derived from Qur'an, as it essentially means the recitation. And as I continue to look at that word Qur'an, as I said, it means Qur'an means to call out, recite, read, cry out, and proclaim. And as I continue to look at that word Qur'an, it talks about, I looked up what it meant in Islam. It said the name Qur'an is a Muslim name that can be used for both boys and girls. It has several meanings, and I thought this was interesting. It said including black, claret, and dark. The name is thought to have originated in the Middle East, and it is still commonly used in some Arabic-speaking countries. And then here again, we see Qur'an. We see it spelled, when it's spelled with a K, you see, that's the sound shifting. If y'all been with us for a while, we know that the Q and the K are interchangeable. And it talks about the Arabic word for Qur'an, spelled with the two A's, means to read. The name, the K-A-R-A, can also come from the Arabic word Qur'an and can mean pure, black, beautiful, or loved. And I thought that was kind of interesting. When they changed it to the K, it meant pure, black, beautiful, or love. But the Q-A-R-A, Qur'an, means to read. Islam. And our last part of our assignment was it says use your great Quran of Muhammad to memorize ayahs 1-5 of Surah Al-Alaq, Quran.com. And he told us where we could go to memorize, get the memorization, of this. And so that's what I did, family. I tried to memorize it in the best that I remember. Our national assistant grad sheet when he went over it last Sunday. And so here I go. Bear with me. I might have to repeat it a couple of times or something, but anyway, it says Ikra Bishmi Rabuka Eladi Kalak. Number 2, it says Kalak El Insuna Min Alak. And number ayat 3, it says Korah Warabuka Ella Karu. And number 4, it says Eladi Alam. Elamabi Lakailam. Elabi Lakailam. And number 5, it says Elamai Elinson Malam Ya'ailam. And that is to say, family, what them 5 ayahs say. Proclaim or read in the name of the Lord and Cherisher who created. Number 2, created man out of a leech-like clot. Ayat 3, proclaim, and thy Lord is most bountiful. Ayat 4, he who taught the use of the pen. Ayat 5, taught man that which he knew not. Islam. Islam, family. That concludes my little presentation, and I'll turn it back over to National Sister Grand Sheik to, if I didn't pronounce it right, help me pronounce it right. Islam, gratitude, family. That's my presentation. Islam.
Islamism, goddess and queen, we give honors to you, for the grand drawing and the background and the history. Yeah, that's a powerful drawing. In time, as far as dealing with what we call tajweed, our proper pronunciation, that come with time, is practice, that will actually bring that about. So fret not. This is not something that we learn overnight. We're just starting, because like I say, I kind of tossed our Moorish kin out there, so to speak. And you did a grand job, though, with pronouncing what you could see. So Islamism without the schism, continue to go over those small ayats, and then they'll build you up, to be able to go into other areas as well. Allah is definitely leading on, and victory is sure. There's another measure I would like to point out. That people,
can I stop sharing now? Or?
Oh, yeah. You can stop sharing, sister.
Okay, gratitude.
Islam. Peace and love. Yeah, there's a measure that I would like to point out, and it's dealing with the drawing as it relates to science in the Quran. What people fail to realize, you got a lot of people that try to discredit the Quran in ignorance, the Grand Quran. And they feel if they can do that, then they can discredit Islam, and they sound real ignorant, doing that. You can't discredit something when you have no knowledge of it. You would have to go into the book itself, and then you can come out with some type of thesis of your exegesis. One thing about the Grand Quran that shows a proof, in this particular chapter, touches on it. When it says that he created man, from a clock, and it says, Khalaqal insana min alaq. That's ayat 2. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Matter of fact, let me share the screen and show our people this right here real quick. Give me a second here, because I got to go. Oh, it's letting me finally get some stability there, huh? All right. Praise be to Allah. Okay, and this is what I just recited. It says Kalak insana min alaq. Right there. Kalak al insana min karak. Somebody would say, if they was dealing with the harmonics of it, Kalak insan min alaq. Something like that. Excuse me if I sound a little rough. But, this is the tajweed right here. You can see it, that long, elongated. Notice how long this line is on the top here. Khalaq. You see? Insana min alaq. Alaq. Alaqi. I didn't say alaqin because that's scheme. You don't even really have to add that. You can if you want to, but really, it can be silent as well. Alaq, like that, right? So khalaq insana min alaq, just like that, right? And so this is the tajweed. This is letting you know what need to be emphasized on these colors. See the blue? And it actually is color coded in the same colors somewhat in our Grand Quran. We actually have the same thing, color codes for the tajweed. So that will give you an aspect of being able to practice. You also can take the facial recognition chart that we had a while back that had the Arabic letters on it, when we deal with our hieratic You know, it's in y'all archives, and it can show you where to pronounce these things from. You know, whether it's palatal or in the guttural, you know, in the back of the throat, or, you know, all of that. You know, so again, this is Kalaka, insana, min, alak. You know, Kalak means creation. You know, has anything to do with creation. This is the word Allah used when he talked about creation. You know, so it was a grand drawing when you compared this, sister, to chapter 1, creation and fall of man. You know, and that's dealing with a birth of man, but from the cosmological standpoint, it gives you the history. You know, this is more from the microcosmic standpoint, because this is dealing with the birth of the body. You know, right here, when it say he created man out of a mere clot of congealed blood, even though it's you, you know, that is coming forth as a result of the act of your mother and father, it is the great God Allah who is actually doing the shaping and the molding and creating you. It is Allah that guides the seed, you know, to cling to the walls, you know, of the womb, so to speak, and then basically come forth. And imagine you yourself fighting against millions, you know, of cells, and you so happen to be the one to come out of that million. So that in itself is a miracle, because you strove against, we can even say, you know, your unmanifest brothers and sisters, you know, and you came in the manifest. So you was the chosen one. Now think about how many seeds your mother and your father had. They may have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but all of you had to strive against millions in order to reach that destination of gestation to come into existence. That's a miracle in and of itself. You see? But how would Prophet Muhammad have knowledge of this? Because there's a measure in here in the Grand Quran, you know, where he go into detail of this, as far as it deals with the evolutionary processes. I'm going to touch it in a second. You know, the word used for, you know, the word clot, again, is alaq. And they say clinging substance here, right? A clinging substance. It is the same clinging substance, you know, which begins to extend itself away from the attachment by means of an umbilical cord, you know, but it has to grow through stages of the trimesters. And even in the scientific journals, they actually mention this proof dealing with the evolution and the growth of man as it relates to the Quran. It actually inserted the Quran, a religious text, you know, and basically prove that this is so. But the thing that is even greater is, how would Prophet Muhammad know this? How would he know the process of what takes place within the womb and the time frame in which it takes place? You see? And he didn't even have the type of tools and instruments to scientifically experiment. So what you mean to tell me he was cutting women open? Because there's no hadith that attests to that. You would have to find some hadith that Prophet Muhammad was cutting women open, you know, at each trimester. And that would be insane. You know, until you can prove that, then you really sound crazy. And we know you can't prove that, because that don't exist. You see, what does exist is the stages of creation being explained in detail in this Quran. You see, and that's something that even a person that don't know nothing about the Arabic couldn't get by. See right here, look, he created khalaq, insan. We know insan is another word, al-insan, al-insan. This is another word for man, man as he is being spoken in general. It doesn't use the name Adam. It didn't say khalaq Adam min alaq. It didn't say khalaq basharin. Even the word basharin Basharan that's used in Surah 15, Ayat 26, when he said he was going to create man, you know, and when he breathed a portion of his ruh, his spirit in the man, then bow down and prostrate unto him. So Allah commanded the angels to bow down in prostration to man, which is something that's unprecedented because the great God Allah has told man to face nothing. And that's not a contradiction. What that's telling us is that man himself is greater than the body and the soul, as chapter 1 tells us. And he was trying to give the angels, because he told them they knew what he knew what they knew not. He was trying to, you know, give them the knowledge of the nature of man. And the nature of man is something that they couldn't see with their eyes, their vision. So he said, know of a surety, I know what you know not. Because they say you're going to place somebody in the earth that's going to be shedding blood. For them to say that, somebody had to shed some blood. So this man had to be created after a time period of some blood being shed at some particular point. You see? So Allah say, no of a surety, I know what you know not. I know what I put in him. I know how I made it. And that's why we have a question in our 101s. We say, who made you? Allah. You know, Allah is the father of the universe. Can we see him? No. See, we can't see Allah with the corner eyes, but we can see the works of Allah as he speaks to man through man. We can speak of what we call spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. You know, whether one assumes the form of what we call flesh divine. So Allah knew what he had placed in the essence of man, and it was that which guided, you know, the spermatozoa to its destination, that it may be able to grow, like I say, through these different trimesters or these different periods, you know, of birth, so to speak. You see, all of this is a science, and even the evolutionary process of that deal with the 7. And by the time one come forth from the womb, like our sister said, they dealing with the 9. You see, and 9 represents re-entry. So how would Prophet Muhammad have knowledge of this process? Because here just saying Allah created man out of the clot of congealed blood. Okay, we understand this is possible for God to do, because that's the great God, right? When we go further, and I'm going to go back into this right here. I just want to touch this because we are speaking of it right now. You know, I'm going to go back into the tajweed and the pronunciation of the language. But, you know, we just pointing out words that were used here. Just like the word ikra. You know, that word kara existed in the Hebrew prior to the Quran being revealed. Kara, we showed in our last session, is throughout the whole book. From the time when it say God said, you know, when he was saying all that, the word kara, because that's a proclamation. Let there be light. The word kara was used as far back in the Hebrew text as that particular time, the creation of man. And that word kara, which deals with proclamation, reading, you know, is the same word that end up being the root of the word Quran. Go figure. So let me go into this particular measure because it goes a little further in detail real quick. And I'm going to jump back to this surah, but I want to show you something in relation to, you know, the science of the Quran. And it ain't strange. This is coming from Surah Al-Mu'min. Al-Mu'min means the believer, right? This is why it's in our nature to believe and not be born disbelievers. It's not in our nature in Islam to be born in sin, because we are born Al-Mu'min. We are born believers. So how can we be born in sin? And belief is the first degree. You see? I just want to point out these different measures right here. I don't really want to go into the Arabic because I'll be extending over more time real quick. But we will do this. It said, man, we did create from a quintessence of clay, right? In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful. It say, then we placed him as a drop of sperm in a place of rest, firmly fixed. See, you got to tell us how Prophet Muhammad, would have this knowledge, because this was being revealed to him. Then we made the sperm into a clot. They go that same word right there. That's the alaq again, the clot that they speaking of right here, right? Of congealed blood. Then of that clot, we made a fetus lump. Then we made out of that lump bones and clothed the bones with flesh, and then we developed out of it another creature. It says, so blessed be Allah, the best to create. Now, what's interesting here is everything that's mentioned up to this point, and then the great God Allah say he clothed the bones with flesh, right? So you would think that was the complete make of man. But then it follows, and you see the semicolon. It says, then we develop out of it. And you thought this was complete, just being flesh and bone, right? Another creature. And that has to do more with your nature. That you are more than just flesh and blood, bones. Because it said that when Allah created man, his body was, pretty much laid out in the open, and the shaitan was walking around him in envy. That's the way the hadith, speaks of it. And I look at that like a hadith Qudsi, because it refers to the intent when he said, you created him, me from fire, and you created him from clay. When he told all of them to prostrate, he asked Ibn, why won't you prostrate toward Adam? He said, you created me from fire and him from clay. I'm not bowing down to that. Lo and behold, if you throw enough clay on top of some fire, you can smother it. But nevertheless, so the true development of coming into another creature, that's a powerful demonstration. Now, some people, if they had a twisted mind, they say, oh, that means he was making them an ape. That's just an inside joke right there, boys, Ken. But, we know better. When you know better, you can do better. It says Allah is the best to create. Now, we know that it says that it was the angels that actually gathered the dust for Allah. They gathered the various components and they took part in the creation. It's just like any special construction project, though. You can have plumbers, you can have brick masons, you can have carpenters, electricians. They are the ones doing the job. But it is the great God, Allah, in their case, they would say grand architect or the architect, of the project that's actually doing this. The architect end up getting all the credit. And it's the same way with the great God Allah. Though the angels participate in the process of gathering the materials to make up man. We see this in the traditions of, Judaism as well as Islam in these details. And this is why we say creative fate, gave to, spirit, man, a soul to function on the plane of soul, and a body of flesh to function on the plane of things made manifest. But this creative fate is still working under the hand and direction of the great God. Creative fate is not doing this on their own volition. But anyway, how would Muhammad have knowledge of this? You see what I'm saying? Then it said, look at this. It go deeper. Now, notice all this here mentioned. It talk about we develop out of another creature, right? So Allah is the best to create. This is what I refer to that a lot of people overlook. It say after that length, you will die. It's after all your creation, right? And again, on the day of judgment, you will be raised up, right? And then it said, we have made above you 7 tracks and we are never unmindful of our creation. That's the seven heavens that it's talking about. But in certain area in the Quran, it also mentioned us being raised up in forms in which we know not. You know, so that's a process of the wheel of life. But nevertheless, I wanted to point that out and show you one of the miracles of the Quran, because that word alaq itself has three meanings. They say a leech, suspended thing, or blood clot. These represent the stages of Allah's creation or man's embryonic development. How could Muhammad know this when he couldn't even read? He was illiterate, people. Answer that question. How could Prophet Muhammad have this knowledge to go into all of this information? And this is before it became studied by any scientist. Scientific journey in the West was created mentioning it. We can't make this stuff up. So I just wanted to bring that to you, to show you. And that's just one of them. I can go into many other areas and talk about this, but I just wanted to speak on this because it's more relevant to what we're dealing with now. But out of that word alaq, which deals with the creation and creator, there's a lot in that. There are other words that are used for the word creation as well. Body, there's one that deals with creation out of material that already exists, and the other actually deals with creation out of material that didn't exist. It was just brought into being. Body, a body. That's the Arabic word. The first expression of creation. And that word body is synonymous with the word bareshet that's used in the Genesis, because he was bringing things out of nothing into something, so to speak. There was no material there, to create. Khalaq actually deals with creation coming forth from things that already exist. So it was said here, when we go into this special drawing here, as our sister spoke on it, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, it says, Iqra bismi Rabuka alladhi khalaq. Iqra bismi Rabuka alladhi khalaq. That's how they would say it. And I can do a little better than that, but we ain't here to sound like we trying to put on no show over here. Again, that's Iqra. That's the read. Bismi, in the name. Anytime you open up with reading Quran, you always say in the name of Allah. So this is Bismillah. You don't have Allah here. It's Bismi Rabbuka. In the name of your Lord. Alladhi, the one. Alladhi, the one who created. Khalaq. Right? Ikra Bismi Rabbuka. If you know the word Rab, the word Rab was used by Yehoshua. This word is connected to the name that they use in the Hebrew when they say rabbi. Al-Rab is actually an attribute of Allah as well, though. Al-Rububiyah is one of the words they use when they talk about Tawheed. Tawheed al-Rububiyah. The Al-Asma wa Sifa, or what they call the most beautiful name. This is one of the most beautiful names of Allah. Al-Asma wa Sifa. You see, Asma actually deals with the essence of a thing, because when we say Asma, sometimes they say Ismat or Ism. This is where we like to reconstruct the word Islamism. Instead of dealing with ism in the English, we substituted with Ism, Allah's essence. So instead of the practice of peace, as the English word would go into Islamism, we say the essence of peace. You see? So anyway, yeah, this is a powerful drawing. Ikra bismi Rabuka alladhi khalaq. And they would say, Iqra bismi Rabuka alladhi khalaq. That would be the sequence in which you would hear it. Khalaq al-insan min alaq, right? Khalaq al-insanna min alaq, right? Then it says Ikra Rabuka Allazi, and it says, and this is K here, Karamu, Ikra Rabuka El Karamu, right? And then we have Alavi Alam Bi Kalam. You know, Alam and Kalam, you know, is very related to each other. When you hear Alam, this comes from the word that deals with knowledge. Knowledge is connected to this. This is taught. You can't have knowledge unless you are taught. You see? Alam. This is where the word ulama comes from. You hear them talking about the ulama, the scholars of the Islamic word. It comes from this same root. Ulama instead of alam. Alam means taught. Again, knowledge. It also is synonymous with water too, when you get deeply into it. You know, Prophet Noble Drew Ali told the Moors to keep their hearts and minds, you know, pure with love and their bodies clean with water. And if you look at this from a spiritual standpoint, we can keep our grand body, you know, clean with the waters of the knowledge, you know, of the teachings of the prophets, the universal teaching. So it says, again, bi kalama, kalami. When we say kalam, kalam is actually the pen. That's Q-A-L-M. And that is an I, but you know, you can pronounce it if you want to. You can say Bil Kalami, or you can say Bil Kalam. You know, most people, they'll probably isolate, you know, the M from the I and make it silent, but you know, all is well. Then you have Alam al-Insanna, right? Mal, Ahmad, Ma, Lam, Ya, Ga, La. So this particular drawing here, it's kind of tricky to say that. You know, actually it's Tagna, Hustagna, Rahustagna, pardon self. Because that's actually, yeah, yes, Tagna. No, I was right. It was Yagalan. Yeah, that was right. That was Yalam. And I'm actually jumped up ayat, pardon self, Moorish king. That was the other word that I was mentioning. But anyway, that's Ka, and that's Inna, Al Insanna, and then that is this word right here. That was the word that I was speaking of a minute ago. You know, and it actually deals with Ra'os Tagna. Ra'os Tagna. That's T right there. That's the G, Ra, A, you know, and then this is the other portion, the Na. So that's the end of it. And so it goes back to what the sister said, you know, as you go through the lines, proclaim or read in the name of thy Lord, cherisher, who created man out of a milk clot of congealed blood, and proclaim thy Lord most beautiful. And he basically taught the use of the pen. He taught man that which he knew not. You see? And a way that you can do this, sometime you can do it this way, or you can find other people that are dealing with this on YouTube, and they'll get outside of the harmonics on it, because all I can play is not a harmonics. Oh yeah, it's let me get in there. Finally, I've been looking for this right here. So again, that's Ikra. You know, Bismi. Rabuka.
Rabbika.
They say Rabika. Rabuka. Aladi
الذي
halak.
خلق.
You see what I'm saying? And you have, hold up, you know what? Yeah, it's sharing. Y'all hear that sound as I'm pushing that Moorish Ken?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I'm repeating and it's going in silent. You know, so halaka,
خلق
right? Insan,
الإنسان
right? Min
من
alaq.
علق.
You see? And again it's ikra,
اقرأ
wa, and then that is rabuka.
وربك.
Yep. And this is L. Now you gotta really know this here because of the way it look calligraphic here. You know, but that's K-R-M-U. So that's Al Karabu.
الأكرم.
Okay, they put the whatchamacallit, they isolated it, the U, so that's all right. But L-A-D,
الذي
Alam,
علم
Bikalam.
بالقلم.
You know, and then this is Alat, Alam.
علم.
They did put that in there, so it's all right though. I'm isolating the vowels. I'm basically speaking ancient Arabic, but all is well. You know, and then this again deals with a man. So you can see the L in Sana.
الإنسان.
See how they did that long in Sana, right? And then this is ma, this is la. They say la, that means no or not, right? Watch this.
ما لم.
Right? Okay, and then this is the word when it says he knew. This is a tough one here to pronounce because you got to put that rai in there. La yaka. Oh, goodness gracious, I did it again. That's actually ya'ailam, parts of ya'ailam.
يعلم.
Parts of. I catch it though. We're a little rusty. But this is kal. Look like your KL.
كلا.
Okay, and this is inna.
إن.
This is in. This word here is actually this one right here kind of tough too. It's in sun. Oh, that's in sun again.
الإنسان.
And then let's see. Yeah, and this is the surely transgressors. And this is El Taija. Itaija. A guy, it's a hard one to pronounce.
لا يطغى.
There it go. He did it better than I can do it. You know, so it take a little practice, Moorish Ken. You know, that's the only word that looked kind of crazy up there to me. But you know, you have to kind of sound it out with the L, ta, you know, and ra, and the I, and you know, you do that over and over again, and then it become more fluid. Like you see me reading the rest of it. So some words you gonna automatically see once you become familiar with this stuff, they jump out at you. You know, they just jump out. You know the word ikra when you see it. You know rabuka when you see it, or rabika. You know insan, kalam, alam. You know, eladi. You know when you see these different words. You see what I'm saying? And basically, you're gonna see it becomes a repetitive process as you go through the book, and then you're gonna begin to read. You know this without even having the transliteration. You know, and the more you do that and practice that, you can put it together and demonstrate, you know, Ikra bismi rabbik alazi kalak kalak insana min alak irak wabru no irak ikra wa rabukaram alazi alam alamabil kalam. And alamal insana malam yalam khala insana layaka, you know, like that, you know, and I can do a lot better than that. Like I said, excuse me, but we just trying to give our family some idea behind this demonstration. It's not hard once you learn it. You just got to learn the alphabet. Once you learn the alphabet, you know the alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, ka, dal, zol, ra, zay, sin, shin, sad, dal, tor, zor, ein, gain, fa, quaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, he, war, yeah. Once you learn that, then you apply those expressions to how you pronounce this. You see? For example, the qua, that would be like bid qualam, that qua, right? Like, I mean, we can just go through here and do many of them, but that's just showing you how to apply the harmonics, you know, or the phonetical expression to your read. That just come with time, so don't fret over that. You know, it come in time. Or like you would hear me say, for example, you know, if I was dealing with Al-Fatiha, and I was telling our Moorish kin the thing about the Arabic is that it has a rhyming to it. You know, it says, you know, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina siratal mustaqim, Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. You know, just like that. That's my own little flow to it. And you develop your own flow, you know, as you do what you do. So as long as leading on the video, I just wanted to add that on. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now so that we can hear from our other scribes. So we gave them enough time, you know, to get that demonstration together. Islam? Well, yeah, scribes.
Islam.
Islam isn't without the schism. Why you sounding so low over there, Grand Secretary of State? You better put them shoulders up. Come on in here, goddess and queen.
Like I said, rising, giving praises to Allah, honor to our prophet. Honor to our E.A.R.S class, honor to our scribes, our family online, and honor to you, Dr. Shahid. I'm going to wait a minute, let me get out of this screen. Hold on. I'm going to present my screen. Can you see it more?
Yep, we got you in the queue right there, Grand Secretary of State.
All right, gratitude. Before I begin my presentation for the PowerPoint, I wanted to do my recitation first, which was actually the third thing that we have to do. Ikra Bishmi Rabuka Elazi Karlak Al Insana Min Alak Kadarwa Rabuka Kara Ala Karu Alazi Alama B Laka Lam Alama Al Insan Malam Yai Ilam Islam. Praise Allah. So that's my recitation for number 3. I just wanted to get that off the top. We were given an assignment dealing with number 1, use your Grand Quran commentary to give your understanding of ayats 1 through 5. Use your Strong's Concordance and Arabic dictionary to give an exegesis of the root word car. Use your Great Quran of Muhammad to memorize ayats 1 through 5 of Surah Al-Alaq. Quran.com may be helpful to aid you in your recitation. And first, starting with Surah 96:1, ayat 1, proclaim or read in the name of thy Lord and Cherisher who created. And I also included the commentaries of Yusuf Ali. So you see the commentary right here is 6203, which in essence is stating Iqra may mean read or recite or rehearse or proclaim aloud, the object understood being Allah's message. In worldly letters, he was unversed, but with spiritual knowledge, his mind and soul were filled, and now had come the time when he must stand forth to the world and declare his mission. So that was a powerful demonstration. Now, my commentary on ayat 1, well, Sprung Wars. This is commentary continued for Key 6204. The declaration or proclamation was to be in the name of Allah the Creator. It was not for any personal benefit to the Prophet. To him, there was to come bitter persecution, sorrow, and suffering. So that's a key demonstration because, the Prophet Muhammad didn't just go out there thinking, hey, I can get people coming behind me. That was not the thought pattern, because we're dealing with sincerity. It was the call of Allah for the benefit of erring humanity. So we see humanity was demonstrating sin. So it was Allah that called forth Prophet Muhammad to bring forth the demonstration of the Quran. Allah is mentioned by his title of thy Lord and Cherisher to establish a direct nexus, a link between the source of the message and the one addressed. The message was not merely an abstract proposition of philosophy, but the direct, concrete message of a personal Allah to the creatures whom he loves and cherishes. Thy, addressed to the prophet, is appropriate in two ways. He was in direct contact with the divine messenger, which is Gabriel or Jibril in Arabic, and him who sent the messenger. Two, he represented the whole of humanity in a fuller sense than that in which Christ Jesus is the Son of Man. So he's speaking about humanity as opposed to title Son of Man. My commentary on this is that this was Allah's divine command using Jibril, the angel, to instruct Prophet Muhammad to bring forth or proclaim his divine mission to sinful humanity. We look at Surah 96, ayat 2, which is created man out of a leech-like clot. And the key for Yusuf Ali's definition is the lowly origin of the animal in man is contrasted with the high destiny offered to him in his intellectual, moral, and spiritual nature by his most bountiful creator. No knowledge is withheld from man. On the contrary, through the faculties freely given to him, he acquires it in such measure as outstrips his immediate understanding and leads him ever to strive for newer and newer meanings. And my commentary on this is Allah created man, a seed thrown into the soul of souls. So I was also going back to chapter 1, as the goddess stated as well, with all the potential attributes and virtues as seen fit by Allah. So everyone is given virtues and talents, and it's up to that particular individual to either make or mar his fortune. So we're all blessed. It's not in the possession, but how we use it. It is up to man to seek truth to the ends of the earth, only to discover it within himself. So that just reminded me of the chapter that we were on, where you have those prior to coming into the consciousness of who you are. We're walking about, trying to find a means of subsistence, but we're demonstrating it in a scanty way. But it's not until we go into turn our focus and perception from looking outside of the self to looking within that we find the actual treasures within ourselves. Now, Surah 3, proclaim, and thy Lord is most bountiful. My commentary on this: read, recite, proclaim Allah's divine message to all those who have ears to hear. The Creator provides many blessings to those who seek the truth. Whoops, sorry about that. Surah 4, he who taught the use of the pen, which our instructor went over the words in Arabic for this. The key for this one, the Arabic words for teach and knowledge are from the same root. It is impossible to produce a translation, the complete orchestral harmony of the words for read, teach, pen, which implies reading, writing, books, study, research, knowledge, including science, self-knowledge, spiritual understanding, and proclaim as an alternative meaning of the word for to read. So this proclaiming or reading implies not only the duty of blazoning forth Allah's message as going with the prophetic office, but also the duty of promulgation and wide dissemination of the truth by all who read and understand it. So the comprehensive meaning of qara, which we see is sometimes 1A, sometimes 2A's, refers not only to a particular person and occasion, but also gives a universal direction. So this breaks down, the little divisions and things of that nature, because in essence, all truth is one. And this kind of comprehensive meaning, as we have seen, runs throughout the Quran for those who will understand. In my commentary on Surah 96, Ayat 4, Allah taught man the use of the pen, which includes reading, writing, research, contemplation, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The pen and record are a record of history that the prophet was not insane, but giving wisdom to generations to come. Now, when we look at this was also another key that went to another surah, al-Kalam, or the pen, and that's the definitions or commentary for that particular surah. Surah 96, Ayat 5, taught man that which he knew not. And the key for that is Allah teaches us new knowledge at every given moment. That's definitely profound, because we have so many opportunities to unfold into the gods that we are. Individuals learn more and more day by day. Nations and humanity at large learn fresh knowledge at every stage. This is even more noticeable and important in the spiritual world. And my commentary on this is, it is from Allah which all wisdom comes. He guides and directs whom he will. And that was also coming from the foundation of the Al-Fatiha, which is the first surah in the Quran. Now, the second one, instruction: use your Strong's Concordance and Arabic dictionary to give an exegesis of the root word kara. And this was also demonstrated last Sunday by Dr. Shahid, where you see that in essence, it's to call, proclaim, to read, to name, depending on the context of how it's being used. This is the primitive root. It also has the corresponding Greek/Hebrew entry when we see that kaleo, to call, to invite. And again, this was brought up by our instructor last week. Lego, to say, to speak. And down here, the cultural and historical background. In the ancient Hebrew culture, act of calling or naming was significant. We also see that in the Piscean record, how man named the various creatures. The Arabic dictionary, and looking at that, it had several entries in the Arabic dictionary. And I had to match up the definition to the word car. So it took me going back about 2 pages to get to the definition that match with the strong root being call, proclaim, read. So I came up with to read a written thing, recite with or without having script, proclaim, convey, call, rehearse, transmit, deliver a message, to collect together, to put or arrange together, part to part or portion to portion. And this is where you see the Quran coming from this particular root of kara. A book, which is meant to be read, conveyed, delivered, recited, proclaimed, delivered, rehearsed, transmitted, collected, and which comprises together all spiritual truth. That's powerful. And we can see why in our Quran it speaks about how we're coming from the Quran of Muhammad, because again, all truth is one. And my exegesis on the root word of kara, using Strong's and the Arabic dictionaries, the word kara, according to Strong's lexicon, is to call, proclaim, read, name. Its message is one of spiritual truth to be read and proclaimed to all of Allah's people. Kara is also the root of the word Quran, which is to be read, recited, and proclaimed to those with the ears to hear this divine truth. All truth is one. This was another demonstration that was profound, a gradual evolution. Now, a lot of times, people speak about Darwin's theory coming from a monkey, etc. But in this word evolution, we're dealing with developing or man unfolding in stages, going from simple to a more complex form. And so this shows the need for growth at every turn. And again, number 3, which I demonstrated at the beginning of my presentation, I just broke it down in reference to each surah. That's surah 1. We're dealing with surah 2, surah 3, surah 4, and also surah 5. And that's my measure.
Islamism. Hold up, Grand Secretary of State.
I'm about to run.
Go back up there to slide 17.
Woo!
You did a grand job too, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Is that a Quranic document?
Yes. I went to the internet and said, give me something Quranic.
I asked you that because I know it is, but you see the Demotic look to it?
Yes. Yes.
Without the vowels, right?
Yes.
Yep. That's what I was talking about when I say that Arabic originated out of the Demotic. The Demotic. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's how, Quran look in its original state without the vowels and the diacritic mark. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But you did a powerful job, and I love when it talk about collected and gathered together in the Arabic dictionary, because this goes back to how the prophet divinely prepared our Moorish Holy Quran, with the universal truth as well. And our Moorish kin often overlook the affidavit, in our authority, when the prophet say we derive our power and authority from the grand Quran of Muhammad, the great Quran of Muhammad, And so some may ask, well, why do we spell it K-O-R-A-N? And it is because during that time, that's how you would see them spelling the word Quran in most cases. It was spelled with a K-O-R-A-N, which is the reason why our Moorish Holy Quran is spelled K-O-R-A-N, and it brings about a distinction because we know there's no K-R-O in there, but we know what's being said in the first Quran at that time that was translated, actually in the West before Yusuf Ali and Maulana Muhammad came forth. There was a European that had converted to Islam and translated the Quran, and it was K-O-R-A-N. You know what I mean?
Islam.
And so, but we know in sound shifting, K is interchangeable with Q, and the O, with U and so forth and so on. So that's no big deal. Most people don't know that. Just like the word Muslim and Muslim. Muslim was used more during that time when the prophet was demonstrating. Even though we have our own definition for the word, Muslim as opposed to Muslim, because a Muslim is one who submits to the will of Allah.
Mm-hmm.
In the Arabic connotation, when you translate that into the English. But then a Muslim is the will of Allah. That's our Moorish definition. You know what I mean? And there's a difference of submitting to the will and being the will. Yeah, we may come in under submission to the will of Allah, but when we come into fruition, we become the will of Allah. And that go back to who we are. Remember, he told the angels to prostrate before man, because man was one with Allah through deific will. Only Iblis could see the physical. Even the angels, but they didn't buck and rebel based on that ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So Allah is leading on, and victory is sure.
Praise Allah. Gratitude.
And all we have to do is keep going over them little ayats right there in repetitive measure, and then we'll have a grand drawing, and use that same methodology here and there on your own, pulling little parts here and there that you may like, and you become more familiar with it gives you a realm of practice, so to speak, an application, to keep you fresh.
Gratitude
with a divine attitude. Yeah, you can stop sharing it now. You can stop sharing.
Gratitude.
Islam. Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. Well, all right. Well, we got our other two scribes up there. Now, I know that gave y'all a chance to put something together if you didn't have it already.
I was going to say, what? Islam.
Islam, Brother Bati Bey.
First, we like to rise and give our man of praise to Allah, honors to the Prophet, honors to our theocratic government, our World Council, our flag still liberal, our divine constitution, our swift angels, Mufti, citizens alike, honors to all things Moorish, honors to all those in attendance, and honors to our instructor for this class. And I could share, but I just got it written down. But yeah, I'll just, because I do want to go over this. I went a few places with this measure because it was interesting, very interesting. Share screen. Dang, which one should I share? Entire screen? Is it going to share both sides? Let's see. Screen 2. Oh yeah, screen 2. There you go. Islam?
Got you in the queue, brother.
Islam. Okay. So when it going over this, and one thing I say when everybody was giving a measure, there was an aspect of the definition that I wanted to touch on, but I didn't see how it applied. But I didn't see in depth how it applied. Let me say that. So let me start off reading this, and it says, use your Grand Quran commentary to give your understanding of ayats 1 through 5. And I have also the Mulan, the Muhammad Assad Quran. And, in its beginning, I want to read that kind of first, because that's going to give an insight of what it was speaking on. The 112. Oh, not the 112. 96, pardon the body. 4. I saw it. Ooh, that's not it. 1 second. 79, 78, 797, 796. Okay. And the title, Al-Alaq, the germ seal, it says, there is no doubt that the first 5 verses of this surah represents the very beginning of the revelation of the Quran. Although the exact date cannot be established with certainty, all authorities agree in that these 5 verses were revealed in the last third of the month of Ramadan, 13 years before the Hijrah, corresponding to July or August 10 of the Christian era. Muhammad was then 40 years old. At the period of his life, solitude became dear unto him, and he used to withdraw into seclusion in a cave of Mount Hira near Mecca, and there apply himself to ardent devotion consisting of long vigils and prayer, or Bukhari. One night, the angel of revelation suddenly appeared to him and said, read, Muhammad. At first thought that he was expected to read actual script, which, being unlettered, he was unable to do. And so he answered, I cannot read. Whereupon, in his own words, the angel seized him and pressed him to himself until all strength went out of him. Then he released me and said, read. I answered, I cannot read. Then he seized me again and pressed me until all strength went out of me. Then he released me and said, read, to which I again answered, I cannot read. Then he seized me and pressed me to himself a third time. Then he released me and said, read in the name of thy sustainer, who has created man out of a germ cell. Read, for the sustainer is the most bountiful one. And Muhammad understood in sudden illumination that he was called upon to read. This is to receive and to understand God's message to man. The above excerpt are quoted from the third tradition of the section Bad al-Wah, which forms the introductory chapters of Bukhari, Sahih. Almost identical verses of this tradition are found in 2 other places in Bukhari, as well as in Muslim, Nasa'i, and Tirmidhi. Okay, and so that was just going back over what you went when you were speaking about this last week to give more insight, more grand insight. And what's crazy about this, it says my understanding of this ayat was, as I have written, it says, this is to me, it affirms our very first question in the one-on-ones, who made you? And this also showed that Muhammad had doubt and wasn't full aware of his mission, and that he had doubt in his creator, and was shown by the angel Gabriel, or the angel of revelation, as it says, that he was equipped with everything. Have faith, and that when we feel pressed in life, when everything ain't going right, that it is there to reveal the treasures that is already in you. This is affirmed by our chapter 48, Unity. The gifts of thy understanding are the treasures of Allah. He appointed to everyone his portion, and what measure seemeth good unto himself. Hath he endowed thee with wisdom? Hath he enlightened thy mind with the knowledge of truth? Communicated to the ignorant for their instructions, communicated to the wise for thy own improvement. And that's what I got out of that, because he kept getting pressed. He was like, man, I can't read. And he just, squeezed the life out of him, which I think sometimes, I ain't gonna say the life out of him, but squeeze the doubt out of him, which I think a lot of times when we actually look back of all the situations we went through, we always get through it, but we don't look at it. We just think that in that moment that we can't do this or we can't do that. So that's not giving the faith or giving the value to what was instilled in us, and at the same time in our Creator. That is a doubt that is carried not just in Muhammad, but it's in all I'm gonna say even all prophets, because all prophets at one point had doubt if they can do what they came to do. But then they always got through it. And so therefore that affirmed the power that was given to them from their creator, from that drop of blood, that one drop of blood, in a sense. That's speaking more to me towards the spirit aspect of the what man was. And when I was going through the definitions, this is where I'll get to it. It says the definition of kara, it says to read a written thing, to recite with or without having script, proclaim, convey, call, rehearse, transmit, deliver, to collect together. Then it says menstruation, entering from a state of cleanliness into a state of menstruation. That's the part that that threw me for a loop, because I was wondering, but then you touched on it, and even then, what is already inherent in you, out of that aspect. But it says a state of purity from menstruation. So we're going into a state of purity. That means when you recite something, you recite the works and the teachings. That right there is the accepting of the wisdom of your creator, which in the teachings it shows. If you look at the hieroglyphs or the pictograms, it shows as waving line, which is water. Or if you look at the one where it shows the sun, or the scarab beetle with the sun above it, those rays that are coming down, which if you look at the word kara or Quran, it has ray in or ra in it, which is light, which is wisdom, which is, we could say water that's flowing through you. Which goes on to, and this right over here just shows that the Qur'an says to read, to recite, to collect, and then it goes up in here and it says the rehearse, transmitted, collect together, which comprises together all spiritual truth. So it's not just one aspect of spiritual truth, as some will make you believe that it's just one spiritual truth. No, all truth is one. There's no distinction between the truth that you can extract from the Christianity or from Buddhism, from the Bhagavad Gita, or none of the books. All truth is one. So when you come across that truth and that truth stands forth, which I like the terminology that we use is strong accordance, because in the strong accordance this word stands. If you look in the Hebrew, it says Q-R-A, Q-Ra. And if you look at and that's why I went to the ancient Egyptian dictionary as well, just to see how strong this word is. You know what I'm saying? In the Hebrew right here it says kara, to claim, to read, kare, to call, to read aloud. And then it had this form, Q-Ra. And it said, just to give some more insight, going through the Vegas dictionary, here are some terms associated. And this is where it says A.S. So think about A.S. when you say asa or ase. You hear a lot of people say ase, and that is to call aloud, to read aloud, or to submit. Now, in that is also, if you're saying proclaim something, you're affirming, right? You're affirming it. So people say I say, and that is affirming. You're summon, call, or read. And that just means to bring to power what you're saying. And the power is within the breath, to speak forth those words, the hikra. You're bringing forth, or what do you say, the hakau, or however it is pronounced. But you're bringing forth the breath and the vibration of the words coming from your vessel, out of the spirit plane, out into the ethers, and therefore bringing birth. Then it says this word right here. It says save. It says to protect. So at the same time, when you're, and I don't think necessarily to protect to protect, in a sense, I wouldn't say to protect anything physical, but more so spiritual, your spiritual aspect of yourself, to protect that, to recite, to read about the wisdom and the spirituality that is put forth in all truth, is to protect yourself from anything that's out, that is, that can come and try to diminish your capacity of understanding that you are a God and you are one with God. So that is when I see the protect. And then I seen this word, E.A.R.S. It says read a book aloud. Then I seen city summon, call, read aloud, to submit, to suckle, nourish, strife. Muhammad was pressed 3 times. Nourish, strife. That was strife for him at that point in time, because he's like, man, I can't read. Hold on, let me show you better. I can tell you. And he was pressed by the he was pressed by he was pressed by the angel of revelation 3 times. So that shows that in whatever you're going through, nourish what you're going through, because there's revelation in that that you have to extract and you have to build from. Those are your ultimately your building blocks. Those are the going back to chapter 48, the gifts of thy understanding are the treasure of life. He appointed everyone his portion on what measure seemed good unto himself. So in your strife is where you gain wisdom. Too many people just don't gain wisdom from the good times. Most people gain their wisdom from those moments that they are going through strife. You see? So then when you're thinking in that aspect, we got to stop viewing these our problems or the times that we feel pressed as a bad time. It's a time to nourish the strife, nourish what you're going through, relish it, think about it, take it in, recite the book, see what part of your belief or the truth is being applied at that moment in time. And then you as you see what lastly it says it's education, because that's what you're receiving. Divine education. This is coming from, you are going through this to get your divine education. There is no school better than the one the great God Allah has instilled in you to learn from. Your life. Your life is everything you need to get through. And that's what this was ultimately telling me when I was going over the message or the work. And so going to the recitation of the first 5, it says Ikra, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It says Ikra Bismi Rabbil Kadi Kalak Kalakwa Insana Min Alak Ikra wa Rabukal Karim Aladi Alama Bil Akalma Alamal Insana Malawalam Kala Inna Insana Layatag. That's the one I had a hard time pronouncing, was the ending in the ayat 5, which was the Yataga. Because I don't know if it's pronounced like Ganabidio, like Ga, or the other pronunciations of the G's. But Islam, and that's the end of my measure.
Islam, in gratitude for the measure, brother. And that word is layadiga. Layadiga. But Islam, grand job, grand man. You did a grand measure brought forth from the treasures. That's what I'm talking about. Islamism without the schism. Like I said, we take little small portions like that, of our liking different ayats or whatever, and deal with the practice of it. And the more practice we go into by dealing with them ayats on our own time, by the time we come back around, with the Arabic again, we'll be more refined, and that's the thing as scribes, not only do we do the study, while we in these sessions, but also outside of the sessions, utilizing that same information to stay abreast with what we have. So Islam. Well, all right. The only scribe left is our brother Marvin Nathaniel was bait. Islam, grand man.
Islam.
Islamism.
Islamism without the schism.
You ain't sleep over there, you Mo.
Man, I was there. Okay, well, I wasn't able to get much done. I really just started, so I'll just show you just what I, how far I got, which wasn't really that far. Share the screen.
We know you be working late hour, Mo, so all is well. Whatever you have is sufficient.
Yes, sir. Okay, gratitude. Okay, select the tab to share. I think I'm gonna come here. Okay, yeah, pretty much what the Moors had got started in before. This is the Surah, and we are, first, yes, my name is Dr. Marvin L. Spade, Consul General of the Texas Territory, rising, giving all praise to the great God Allah, giving highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, give our honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government, give our honors to our Act 1, I give our honor to all of our officials, I give our honor to this class, our E.A.R.S class, our Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class, so as I give honors to all those present, on the panel and in class. Give honors to you, Dr. Sheru Amiti Amoezi Septuel, our National Assistant, Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, as well as our instructor and host of this most powerful class. And give honor to the Moors family that gave their measures before me, very powerful measures. And yeah, so I did start, let's see. Okay, go back up here. Islam is a Muslim assignment. Our homework will consist of, go here. 1, use your Grand Quran commentary to give your understanding of ayats 1 through 5. 2, use your Strong's Concordance and Arabic dictionary to give an exegesis of the root word kara. And 3, use your Great Quran of Muhammad to memorize ayats 1 through 5 of Surat al-Alaq to aid you in your recitation. Okay, that's pretty much it. So basically, all I did was I just started out. This is the Kaaba, in Mecca, just showing, just part of the history, because it is known that we actually established Mecca, and it's been stated in different revelations or formats. Okay, and I just when you said mu'min, I had to look it up. Mu'min, the term mu'min sometimes spelled mu'min, is an Arabic word meaning believer or faithful. In the Islamic context, it refers to a person who has faith in Allah and follows the teachings of Islam. Sincerely. Okay. The term is derived from the root word iman, which means faith or belief. Mu'min is characterized by their strong belief in the oneness of Allah, adherence to Islamic practices, and a lifestyle reflecting their faith is there a particular aspect of faith or that belief or that interests you. And this coming from our Moorish American demonstration, we know that our prophet Noble Draw Lee, it's been said that he was Yahushua will come again, as well as Muhammad come again. For us. And so this is where we pretty much come. We believe in the Grand Quran, but our Moorish American, but our prophet Noble Draw Lee brought forth our Quran. Okay, I don't know what this is. Let me just. Okay. You can see that this particular surah Al-Alaq has 19 ayahs. 11. Okay, the revelation place was in Mecca. The surah is titled so after the word Alaq in the second verse of this surah. The period of revelation. This surah has two parts. The first part consists of 1 through 5, and the second of 6 to 19. About the first part, a great majority of the Islamic scholars are agreed that it forms the very first revelation to be sent down to the Holy Prophet, upon whom be Allah's peace and blessings. In this regard, the hadith from Hadrat Aisha, which Imam Ahmad Bukhari, Muslim, and other traditionalists have authentic hadith on this subject. In it, Hadrat Aisha has narrated the full story of the beginning of Revelation as she herself heard it from the Holy Messenger of Allah, Ibn Abbas, Abu Musa al-Hashiri, and a group of the companions are also reported to have stated that these were the very first verses of the Quran to be revealed to the Holy Prophet. The second part was verses of the Quran to be revealed to the Holy Prophet. The second part was sent down afterwards when the Holy Prophet, upon whom be peace, began to perform the prescribed prayer in precincts of the Kaaba.
Pardon the body, Brother Marvin, that was Bay.
Islam.
Yes, sir. Are you sharing, sir, or are you just reading?
So you can't see?
No, sir. We don't see what you're reading. We just see the Quran being posted there. I thought you were reading from a book or something.
No, I was
but
just reading. I was reading this part of, I guess it's part of the hadith.
Yeah, but I'm saying, do you have it on the screen? Or are you reading it from a book?
I have it on the screen. I guess
Because you probably sharing, but it might be covered up by another screen you share.
Okay.
Because I see the Quran. You know what I was reading, like Quran.com?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see on the screen right now.
Okay.
I don't see the source that you read.
All right, you see this here, right here, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so sharing this tab. Okay, trying to figure out
what I think it is. I think it's the tab you share.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be able to go in and just share the whole screen, the entire screen, instead of the tab, and then you'll be able to show us what you read. That way the audience can follow you.
Right. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, let's go back over here. Okay, screen. Okay, so to present. Okay, slides or PDFs. I want to share the screen.
You can select entire screen if you want to. That way you can switch between them.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. Share. Okay, is it showing anything now?
Yeah, it ain't. You gotta make sure you share it to the thing because it ain't popping up yet. Don't forget to add the screen.
Okay, I got to share entire screen. So okay, also share audio. Okay, got it. Okay, so is it showing it now?
Oh yeah, yes sir.
Okay, so
Now you should be able to go back and forth between the screens. I see all your stuff.
okay, this is my
There we go. There you
PowerPoint.
go.
Yeah, so pretty much I went through this tab that showed the actual format of what the lessons was supposed to be, and I showed the Kaaba, a picture of the Kaaba. You know what I mean? I was speaking about how we actually brought on the manifest the city of Mecca, and I went here and I was reading about Mu'min being the term is the Arabic word meaning believer. You know what I mean? I got that from you as you were speaking, and so I go here, and this was I was reading the last part, how the first part, you know, had been, you know, by the majority of Islamic scholars agree that it forms the very first revelation to be sent down to the Holy Prophet. You know, and this was brought forth by the hadiths from Hadrat. And what I went to next was, you know, because I mean, Hijra, I was trying to find out exactly what that meant. That's actually is the Arabic term meaning the migration or immigration. The most significant Hijra in Islamic history refers to the Prophet Muhammad's migration from Mecca to Medina in 622 CE. This event marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar, Hijri calendar. The Hijra was not just a physical journey, but also a community, ummah, and a spread of Islam. It symbolized the transition from persecution to a supportive, unified community. And from there, yeah, I first went into that first ayat, where you said, use your Grand Quran commentary to give you an understanding of this, where it says, proclaim. And so, you know, this was just my format, you know, my outline of how I was going to go into this. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I didn't get a chance to really go into, you know, different parts of it. So I just, you know, I was going to go into the actual, as you can see, the actual Arabic writing of this particular ayat to proclaim, to read in the name of thy Lord and cherisher who created. I mean, that's pretty much the explanation of this particular ayat. You know what I mean? It speaks about the ikra, or read, or proclaim, or alaq, or the clot of congealed blood. El alaq, the clot, the first 5 verses of this chapter are by universal admission, as I spoke about earlier, was the first revelation which the Holy Prophet received. The chapter is called the clot because of the statement made by the second verse that Allah created man from a clot of blood, which contained a hint that as a beautiful human form is evolved out of such a humble origin, even so the Holy Prophet would raise humanity to the greatest eminence morally and spiritually. You know what I mean? Therefore proclaiming, you know, in the name of thy Lord, the cherisher who created man. And so basically that's pretty much as far as I got. Like I said, I just put the different ayats, created man out of a mere cloud of blood, congealed blood, going on to 3, you supposed to use our Grand Quran of Muhammad to memorize ayats. I didn't even get to that. I haven't memorized it. In honor to Dr. Dendra and her portion, for he who taught the use of the pen. And when I looked at this, I thought about both, you know what I mean, who brought on the alphabets, you know what I mean, and taught mankind how to write and read. You know, and this was the beginning of that. Taught man which he knew not. And through the revelation to the prophet, this is where we get the understanding of the Grand Quran, the first revelations of Allah to man, you know. And so basically this is what I got in. I look forward to, you know, going into the instructions and bring forth more concerning our instructions. And with that, I would say gratitude for allowing me to bring forth that which I was able to do, you know, during the course of, you know, trying to rest and deal with this life. So I say gratitude, God, for allowing me to bring forth that part that I was able to, Islam. And so let me go back here and stop the screen. Islam?
In Islamism, brother, we give honors to you for that grand draw, and praise be to Allah. And honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, that's been a grand drawing, family. You know, our Moorish kin demonstrated well, you know, and like I said, it's just a degree of practice and application, you know, and it sharpens us up the more that we're able to get here. Now, to be frank with our family, again, we have, let me share my screen real quick, because we'll be closing out at 1:30. Yeah, I remember the day we used to go to 3 and almost 4, huh? Hold up, Islam. Let me go right here and open this demonstration up. Just give me a second here. What in the world? Okay, there we go. Now I can share my screen. I wonder where that went. This thing here is now trying to act right to a certain degree. I guess this is after all the updates. Yeah, I'm gonna share the entire screen just in case I move around a bit. Okay, there we go. Let me know if this is sharing, family. Okay, let me open the window up a bit. Okay, can y'all see that, Moorish kin? Can y'all see the screen shared, I meant to say?
Islam.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gratitude, Islamism without the schism. So yeah, I'm going back here. And this is your best tool to use. This, like I said, it wasn't working last week, but it's working now. You know, seemed like my windows working a little better than they was. And as I stated, you know, I always remember, you know, when we open up, you know, you read in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. This is called, you know, the key to opening up, you know, these ayats, you know, to us. But as we stated, you know, you can go through here and use, excuse me, use your Tajweed Quran. The ones that we coming out of. In the Tajweed Quran, excuse me. Yeah, the Tajweed Quran, Moors. It will give you a step-by-step breakdown. Because if you put it in your hand and you're looking at the transliteration, you see the word Ikra. If you have your book in front of you, your Tajweed Quran is the one, that basically has, some of ours may have been blue, some of them may have been red, like whatever color it is. But it has the transliteration in the book. So you go to Surah 96, you see the word Ikra,
اقرأ
and you can actually learn how to pronounce it right here, and just go word for word. The next word is Bismi,
باسم
Rabika,
ربك
then Aladhi,
الذي
Khalaq.
خلق.
And you just, can go back and forth.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
You can keep doing that and kind of build it up till you can get some repetition and you can memorize, that demonstration ayat by ayat. And the whole purpose of this is to get you into a state of being able to utilize this. So once you learn how to, you can learn to vibrate the ethers, the harmonics. And this is how, it's demonstrated.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق.
You know what I mean? And you just come up with your own expression. Like I say, it's the Ikra Bismi Rabbika Alladhi Khalaq. You know what I mean? Or you can say Ikra Bismi Rabbika Alladhi Khalaq. It don't make no difference, as far as how you chose to do it. I'm showing you in your harmonics.
Islam.
Islam, Grand Secretary of State.
Yes, sir. I have a question. Now, I have the Talkweed in front of me. Now,
That's right.
What is the thing with the colors again?
That is actually Tajweed is showing you how to, it's giving an emphasis on the pronunciation of it.
Okay.
And if you go into the back of the Quran, right? The Quran itself.
Yes.
Go into the back of the Quran. Just give me a second here. I'm gonna pull it up. Page 56. Let me know when you get there.
You're talking about the Tajweed Quran.
Yes, the one that we had.
Page 56.
Okay, you see the face that we had there that we use for our hieratic?
Oh, wait a minute. I was in the wrong. Hold on.
Oh no, all is well. It's in the end.
Okay, I got it now. Hold on.
Okay, you got
wrong 56. I got it. Yes. Uh-huh.
And it says an illustration shows the phonation of the letters used transliteration.
Yes.
And it's showing you what these words are pronounced from, right?
Okay.
So this is giving you a science of recitation, basically, and you can go by identifying the letters that's used. This is where you can go into your practice. Your alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, ka, all of that. It shows the short vowels, long vowels, right?
Yes, sir.
But if you turn back to the surah that we're dealing with, alaq, right? And look to the left side of the book, you'll see all the letters that's here on the side. And it shows short vowels, long vowels. See how they got the Q, the D, the G, the T, the S running down the side of the page, the left side of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you see those particular letters, if you were to go into the right side of the Quran, you know, it's showing you those letters in the Arabic, in the actual Arabic, on page 597.
Yes. Yes.
See what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, being that Ikra is the one up under the top surah, you go to Ikra, right? And the very first thing on the top is what right there?
Q.
Yeah, but I'm talking about above that. On page 597, right up under that second bar. Because it got one portion of the Quran at the top, and it's another one on they being divided by bars with Arabic in them.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
yeah, what can you see right there being
Oh boy.
stated at the first top? It's all right. Take your time. Take your time. I
What
help you if need be.
is that the B?
That's exactly what it is. So that's your hint to what's being said.
Okay. Like Bishmi?
That's exactly what it says. So
Okay.
you know the
Okay.
rest is what? The rest is what?
Bishmi Allah, Rahman, Rahim.
There you go. See what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
That's all
Okay.
you needed was that B and that IS, and you automatically knew what was the follow. You
Islam.
see what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
sir.
so then
Gratitude.
you right, and then you go into your Ikra.
Okay.
So you see,
Yes, sir.
you know, Ikra, Bismi again. You can see that you can isolate that Bismi and compare it to the one above. You see, it's the same thing, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You see, the only thing is the M is drug out to the end
Mm-hmm.
on the one at top. It's like a long S, Bismi at the top. And this is Bismi Rabika Aladi Kala. You see? And you see
Yes.
it's on the Q's in there
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
throughout the whole particular measure. It's letting you know that. So that's
Okay.
actually helping you to know if you already know the first two letters, for example, before the next Q, then you know, okay, this is KH, Kalak.
Kalak. Right. Mm-hmm.
Then we go over to the next one. Kalak is right behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Al Insan. They actually put an emphasis on the end as well. It's blue. Then they have also a lock. So if you
Mm-hmm.
know the A and the L there, then you know the Q is at the end. Alaka. That's how they actually pronounce it. Alaka. Which is, it would be like Alaqin, but they say Alaka. So that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. You say Ikra again. You already know that's Ikra again because you already seen it from the beginning.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you see how the repetition, the more you begin to look at this thing, like you can go through here now. If I were to ask you where's Insan, and you could go through every line and show me what Insan is, because you know what Insan look like. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And it's the same thing with each word. And after a while from doing this, because it's only so many different words that's used in here, it
Mm-hmm.
all start coming together, and you won't even need things. You're gonna start picking up on it automatically.
Praise
Due
the
to
Lord.
your knowledge of knowing the alphabet and also the repetition of these words that's being used in different ways.
Gratitude.
You see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
You know, and you know, that's why I say it's, when I be saying it's easy to learn in all other languages, that's why I say it, but it just take a little repetition, you know. And then also an answer to your question as well, dealing with these colors. Go to page, back the page, actually go to page 57. The page before the one with the little face on it.
Okay. Hold on. Turning it. All right, I'm at 57.
Okay. Now they actually have this in many different languages here. So don't worry about that. If you go at the top of the page, it refers to the unrest letters, an echoing sound, the emphatic pronunciation, unannounced, the nasalation. But notice these are codes.
Mm-hmm.
All that on the bottom ain't nothing but different languages.
Okay.
They're trying to get at to different people. They trying to explain it to a couple of different people. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Like Spanish, Greek, you know, whatever. But up at the top, so let's just say unrest letters. That's your blue. Meaning that you don't have to rest when you do that. As we see the ka, the kara, ikra, you ain't got to rest on that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's blue, right?
Yes.
And then you have your emphatic pronunciation. You want to make sure that you emphasize.
Okay.
You see, that's a dark, like Roman royal blue. Then you have gray, which is unannounced or silent.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you see what I'm saying? And see how it has up there on the screen, for example, the bit, but it actually, it's an A and a U right there connected to it, but it's in gray.
Yes.
Right on the screen, but it's silent. Also in front of the LIZ. Even though we say LIZ, it's really silent. So it's really, it's flowing off of the Ikra Bismi, Rabika Lazi. So the A is actually coming off of the Rabik Allah and the La. You going straight into the L. You really ain't emphasizing the two. This other A.
Right. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So that rule is being applied here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't see no green, so there is no nasalization up there. You know, you don't have to come from the nasal in that one. We don't see no orange up there. You know, so normal prolongation, you know, that's just by default. Permissible prolongation, where you have a choice, and you see that's a little darker orange, meaning it's permissible if you ever see that to prolong it, but it ain't necessary.
Okay.
Then you have the obligatory prolongation, that's red, meaning it has to be pronounced. And notice it says 4 or 5 vowels. And this really deals with the stretching, you know, as we show you a lot of times.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's where the prolongation come in. Then necessary prolongation is that little dark, I want to say burgundy the color, 6 vowels. You know what I mean? And these are the main colors. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 colors in the code. And so these are the basic rules. If you want to, if you ever see that, and if you on Quran.com and you select, like I did, to put the tajweed in here, you know, once you get in there, you can compare that, you know, with the word. Now, going back to 55, it actually gives you a greater detail here. Right?
Got it.
And it says, with the law's aid, after several years of assiduous labor, the publishing of this noble Quran has been fulfilled in order to guide the reciters to how to tone it according to the Hafs narration from Asim, Uthman, Ali, Ibn Abi Talib, Zaid ibn Thabit, and Ubay ibn Kab from Muhammad's recitation. So basically saying, this guy, this brother that produced this Quran added this in here. It's just like, for example, the Quran itself originally didn't have these diacritic marks above and beneath. But, you know, it was put in Uthman's version, you know, and he started putting the vowelizations in there, right?
Okay.
And so this system, in our time, this brother done created a modern way, you know, to show us how to emphasize certain things. So it's almost like an improvement on being able to read the Quran, which it makes it easier for people that may not be native born, you know, in learning it. So you see here, it goes into detail. The dark red color indicates a necessary prolongation. Vowels, each of which is about half a second. That's going back over the stuff I was telling you. And say the blood red color indicates obligatory prolongation, 5 vowels. It says it comprises non-stop prolongation, separate, major, and a major link. So it goes on and explains you know, each and every one of these and what they mean and how to use it. You see, and so when you see this, you'll know. And after a while of doing it, we'll know what it is anyway. You see what I'm saying?
That makes a lot more sense. And I'm like, what in the world?
And you can use that, the facial recognition, to show exactly where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So you'll know how to pronounce, you know, that is special measure. You already know based on the alphabet, because you already know the alphabet, but it just makes it even more better, you know, so to speak. And there's also another measure going into the other side of the Quran in the front where it emphasizes a couple of different measures in here. But that's another draw. It ain't really a big deal. Talk about the emphatic, you know, it goes again into the breakdown, and that's actually, if you turn all the way to how we would normally open a book up, you know, from the right.
Yes.
And if you go to the second page over,
Okay.
you can see where it's talking about the sample demonstrates on the coded Tajweed rule at the top of the page.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I
right
see it.
there. And you can see it. It's showing unannounced silent, the gray again. Then it goes necessary prolongation vowels on the right. Obligatory. This is from the dark burgundy to the red,
Mhm.
the same colors that we just mentioned.
Praise Allah.
So this is basically giving you the science of the tajweed. And you know, you can take out some time. It don't take, you know, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour.
So you
know,
say a
you know,
day?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you have time, only at your leisure, you know, you can go
Islam.
word by word, take the surah, and use Quran.com as your companion. And like I said,
Mhm.
you can go always and
خلق الإنسان
you know what I mean?
من
Yes, sir.
علق.
And once you know, doing these ayat, it can be a favorite ayat that you read in the Grand Quran and you like, oh man, I want to memorize that. And then you come here, pull your tools out. Then you're gonna get to a point where you don't even need this here. You see, I be pretty much, I can go up here and, but that's years of work, you know. It don't
Right.
take years, but you know, I've been doing it a long time. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna be able to see it a little quicker, you know, like, and see how this right here is not
Noon.
necessary. Yeah, the noon is really silent, so it's really
Uh-huh.
أن
you know, even though they, you know, it's, you can do it or not, but it's cool. And you have ras. This is actually ra, but this is a double vowel because you got the sukoon on there. That's
Mhm.
enough. So we know that's gonna be long. You see,
رآه
ra'ahu. You can actually see that. Notice how they break these things up in the
Mhm.
way they say it. Ra'ahu. It's just like it looks.
Mhm.
Ra'ahu.
رآه
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
sir.
then this is astakta. That's that same word we was dealing with the other word. Yeah.
Mhm.
استغنى
Yeah. Oh, you heard that raw, that
Mhm.
got raw, raw.
استغنى
You see? Raw
Yes, sir.
nah. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, it'll come to a time again where you just, this is inna,
إن
you know, and this is illa,
إلى
you know, this is rabika,
ربك
you know, and this is el. Oh, this is actually high, rahai, and you can hear it in there too.
الرجعى
Oh, that's the J. I'm mistaking that as the H. See, sometimes you'll go through that, but all is well. You know what I mean? Practice make purpose. I'm a little rusty too, but
Gratitude. No, that makes a lot more sense. Gratitude.
so yeah, it's a grand draw in Moorish Ken, and we definitely want to encourage our family to most definitely be on the manifest. And I want to read this out, and we closing out after this read, because this is coming from our Quran commentary. This is dealing with the ayats. It says, Wuzu billah min shaitan rajim, bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed shaitan. You know, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent and the Merciful. It says, 96, Allah spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai when Moses was commissioned to liberate the children of Israel from the yoke of Pharaoh. His assignment was of a tribal nature. After a series of additional prophets comes the son of Mary, on whom the Spirit of the Lord descended in the shape of a dove, right? This is Quran confirming that the spirit descends upon Yahushua. So a lot of people be looking for stuff to beef over, but if they read the book, they'll know better. You know, this is Islamic material. This ain't Christianity, family. Yes, it confirmed that Jesus was sent by Allah. According to the gospel writers, his message was that of the Son of Man was the Son of God. Thus, the mission of Moses concerned the affairs of a tribe, while that of Jesus spoke of the personal aggrandizement of some particular personality. However, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, of Islam is given a message above individual, racial, or ethnic interests. His message is addressed to humanity as a whole. It is of a universal character and brings the entire human race within its fold. You read this, Grand Secretary of the State. It tells of the highest goal that a son of man is capable of reaching, that of a sweet converse with his creator. This message shows the ways and means to achieve that grand goal. Recite with the name of your Lord. Nourisher to perfection has been used with reference to this great goal of glory which humanity as a whole was destined to attain. Remember, I was telling you about kolaka. That's another master word being used in this measure. This is in Surah 96, Al-Alaq, Ayat 2, the verb kolaka. Now, sometimes you'll see it spelled with a Q. That's why I say K and Q is interchangeable. But look, they're actually using kolaka instead of kolaka with the Q. You know, it says, and that's the Q right there in the Arabic. You see that, Grand Secretary of State and Scribes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the K, that sound shifting is right there. It carries a sense that the act of divine creation has not ended, but is being continuously repeated. And see, I tell our family this all the time. That's why you see new aquatic life manifesting. That's why you see new things manifesting in the cosmos, because in all actuality, Allah has never rested from the creation process. That's why we are seeing new life that has not been spoken of, that the scientists are baffled by. You see, because that word be and it is, when the great God Allah began to create it, is still reverberating right now in this era and time. The vibration of that word is still bringing life into the manifest. The vibration from that word is upgrading our DNA. So every time a new generation is being born, they're being born, you know, stronger physically, stronger mentally. You know, the babies now walking way before their time. And that has to do with the creation process and the cycle. So alaq, you know, this alaq is actually, you know, the end to a certain degree of the word creation, if we want to connect it to that. But it says means hanging on something and thus forming a connection with it. Alaq also means to stick fast to something. It has in the essence of concern and love. The phrase Khalika min Allah, you know, Khalika min Allah, who is created from a clock, embodies in it the idea that love for his creator is ingrained in human nature, and it is a part of it. So symbolically, as that clot clings to the womb of the mother, this is the way in which we cling, you know, to the womb of Allah's mercy, because the word Rahman and Rahim come from the root word. So we are clinging to the mercy of Allah. Just as the clot clings to the womb, we cling into the mercy of Allah, because that's our sustenance from a spiritual standpoint. It is therefore natural, it says, that he should find his connection to his creator. That's the deific will, right? That deific tie. In a broader sense, the word alaq also signifies a clot, a germ cell that fertilizes the female ovum by forming a connecting link and sticking with the ovum. It says the words tell us how human being develops from the state of primitiveness, simplicity, and insignificance of his biological origin to the perfection of his intellectual, moral, and spiritual state. See, that was that evolution you spoke on, Grand Secretary of the State. We also find a similar message in verse 30 and 54, where we read, Allah is he who created you from a state of weakness. The verse also carries the message for the one who received these words. Similarly is your condition. You are being created as a new being after you have formed a connection with your creator. In this verse, the initial stage of a mere sperm drop has been intentionally left out, for the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, had already passed through this stage of his life when the divine revelation had started descending upon him. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, worshiped in the cave of Hira for many years before this verse was revealed. Therefore, the word alaq has been used to show that the Holy Prophet's, peace be upon him, love was for his Lord, and the spiritual connection with Allah had already been formed. So prior to us coming into the manifest, predestination, creative fate had already determined, our outcome. Next ayat, 96 ayat 4, who taught knowledge by means of the pen, is an illusion that the Quranic message will be spread and taught by means of writing. The pen is a symbol of the art of writing. And for all knowledge, remember, kalam is the word for pen, right? And recorded by means of writing. This also explains the sum and read at the beginning of the chapter. This is very important because most of our people don't like to read. The Europeans say if you put anything in a book, that's the best way to hide something from our people, because they don't like to read, and we can be lazy at time without that, and that's where we end up falling by climate. So we see the word ikra here, read, and then we see again in 96, the human being, 96 ayat 5, the human being is spoken of here. See, they say Alan's son is spoken of as being taught knowledge by Allah. Remember, knowledge, is a very powerful measure. But it says, now, if you notice, we're being taught by Allah. That basically saying through our intelligent design, it's already in us to be what's in us. That's why the angel Jibril, like the brother Bati Bey was saying, he was squeezing that doubt out of it, which he cannot acquire with his own power of intellect, rational thinking and reflection. Even though we think, that we can be taught, spiritual knowledge by our own intellect, our intellect falls short of that. The intellect only gives you what you can intellectualize, by what you see concretely. But this knowledge that Allah is teaching you, ilm, it goes beyond the surface level. It allows you to be able to see, the secrets of the treasures of Allah. You see, that's the difference between common knowledge and intelligence and spiritual intelligence. This is a different type of technology we're talking about here. It also includes the human ability to speak and express himself in an eloquent and clear fashion. This ability was not the result of accidental evolution, but was directly willed and inspired by Allah. Surah 55, ayat 2 through 4. Animals can be trained to obey the command of their master. Many also are capable of learning and communicating with each other within their own species, but they can never learn to speak and express themselves in clear words. See, that's the difference between an ape and a man. It says, thus, human speech is a divine gift, exclusive to human beings. Allah's teaching the human being signifies revelation, which is the only sure source and proof of his existence. Animals don't have no Quran to live by. You know what I mean? So the acts of animals would be excused. They're not under divine law. You see what I'm saying? Animals don't have to learn character building lessons. They don't have to study. An ape doesn't have to do this. They simply can be an ape. Because surely if an ape could be compared actually to a human, then some of the things that an ape would do would be sinful, according to putting it under a moralistic aspect. The way an ape may act in an irrational way and kill another ape just out of sheer use of brutality, so to speak. You know what I'm getting at. In fact, when somebody is trying to, if we are so ape in our essence, and that's what we are, then why is there a comparative measure when somebody tries to describe the behavior of somebody that's acting irrational? They say, man, you acting like a monkey, or you acting like an ape, you know, or you get using guerrilla tactics. If you was already that, then there's no comparison. That's simplicity right there to wake our people up. That's talking about this old Darwinistic, apeism. If you already ape, then why you be? That's like man. Think about it. Let's use the context and look at what I'm talking about. You're a human being, right? You're a man. Imagine saying you acting just like a man. That don't make no sense, do it? A woman. Sister, you acting just like a woman. Now, we would think that would be something good if we said that, right? Actually, if I'm acting like a man or acting like, a sister is acting like a woman, you know what I mean? In that particular case, we know a man can't act like a woman. A woman shouldn't act like a man. But if you are acting like what you are in our species, you see, then that's a good thing. But we know a true man and a woman is made of principles, values, moralistic qualities. But if I were to say you acting like an ape, automatically the connotation in which I'm using that, you think in your mind that ain't something good. An ape is something in low. In other words, you don't even supposed to be acting like that. You out of character. So if the ape in the man is the same, take a look at the connotation. You see, and you will see that it don't make no sense to say that if man is an ape, or you acting like an ape. It ain't the same as saying you acting like a man and you being a man. Automatically, just by using that, and that right there is enough to make somebody got some sense to know the difference, between ignorance and illumination. So that being said, I just wanted to give that draw, and we're gonna give our scribes a chance to close things out, that they can give their measures. Islamism without the schism. And we're gonna call forth our Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Shepsu Rakat Ma'at and Putu Takamin Bay. You have the floor, Goddess and Queen and Scribes.
Islam, Moorish kin, having already risen, giving praise and honor where due. This has just been such a grand class. The Prophet definitely tells us thought is the cause of it all. And I give honor to our family online. I give honor to our scribes for bringing forth their grand measures, and also to you, Dr. Shaheed, for making it plain. So I look forward to, going back and reviewing this now in reference to combining with the letters and the breakdown, the man with the face, throat, etc., and making it a part of self. So gratitude more. Appreciate the blessing. Peace and love.
And gratitude to you as well. We appreciate the blessings and your contributions of what you brought forth today, Grand Secretary of the State. Islamism without the schism. Also, speaking of Islam without the schism, Islamism without the schism, what about our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akinaktin Pert M. Heru Tutankhamun Bey? Is he available?
No. Islamism.
Islamism without the schism. What greater way to close this thing out?
Woo, man. Let's give praise to Allah. It's been a magnanimous journey, man. Praise Allah and honor to the Prophet, for bringing us these great blessings. And it just, man, it's time to go on out of here. So you know what, Grand Man, I tell you what, go ahead on. I'll authorize you to go on, close the door. Islam. You all right? You there?
Yes, sir. We hit you, Grand Man. Yes, sir.
Go ahead and close it out for me.
All right. Islamism without
the schism.
Yes. Without the schism. Yes, sir. All right. Well, we closing out, and we just say gratitude, and gratitude is a divine attitude, Moorish kin, and we love you, and we give honors to our scribes, and we just say we'll be back again, and scribes, I'm pretty sure y'all said all you wanted to say, and we'll go forward with that measure. Unless you have something you feel like you want to add, we going out. Islam. All right, Sister Dendra, you on the manifest?
Islam.
Right now.
Gratitude. January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. And a group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet violates the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and buttons, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By the order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations, ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Islam. This meeting has been officially adjourned according to Act 2, the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Go in peace, Moors. Great class.
Great class.
Great class. Gratitude, Dr. Shaheed.
Yeah, gratitude.
Great class. Beautiful measures.
Islamism without the schism. We love you, Moors, and we just say gratitude, and we definitely getting ready for our Sunday school class. And scribes, you already know the truth is on the manifest, and we give praises to Allah for our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, who came 5 times more powerful, to set us free. Islam. Want to give honors to our brothers for showing up. Noble Brian Born Dog, you know, Brother Tyrif Bay, you know, Tyrese L. Islam Moors. Keep the prophet out front. Islamism. All right, Moors.
Great
See
class.
y'all later.
Islam.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Love.